Hey guys, wait, we need to change the background. 1 second. Much better. But anyways, hey guys, today I'm going to be discussing the Masked Singer show and its Discord community. The community has done so much for me, to be honest. I mean, it's the reason why I have some of my Discord and YouTube friends. But there have been a few scandals and controversies in the Discord community and just on the show in general. Today we will be talking about the Discord community and the show itself, because those are what I'm more familiar with. Now, this may or may not be long, so grab a drink and some snacks and let me spill the tea and let me explain the history of the TMS community and its show. The main version I'll be referring to in this video is the US version, which is probably the most famous, but it's not the original. The original version was the South Korean version, which Ken, one of the US judges, was on. But anyways, The Masked Singer is a global phenomenon as evidenced by the many versions where celebrities go under a costume and mask and sing their hearts out. There are clue packages to help you guess who they are, and sometimes it's easy to tell by just their voice. And season 1 was a major hit on Fox, which caused it to get 8 seasons so far. The costume work is just amazing, and there have been some legends like Gladys Knight and Gloria Gaynor on this show. This show has touched many people, so much people, in fact, that some people even tried making their own shows on YouTube, which we'll touch on later. That was a brief overview, but now y'all should get the point. And let's talk about some of the spin-offs. Due to the show's amazing success, it got a spin-off series. It's called The Masked Dancer, or TMD for short. Think of the Masked Singer, but instead they dance. Because it's harder to guess who's behind the mask, they have more clues in the clue packages, and the performances have more clues in it too. The original version of the spin-off is actually from the US, then UK and Germany had their own versions of it. Both the US and Germany versions currently only have one season, while the UK has just recently finished their second season. And if you ask me, UK was the only country to do the Masked Dancer any good. But let's move on to the meat of the video, the Discord community. Now this portion is going to start when I personally joined the Discord community, so if there's any drama or scandals before I joined, I have no knowledge of it. But our timeline starts in July of 2021, or it was just 2020, I don't fully remember. But in which I joined the Masked Singer Fandom's Discord server. I'll just refer to them as Fandom for the rest of the video, just for ease. This server was where I met some of the people who I'm great friends with, and a bitch that I will talk about in more detail in the next section. But, back to the timeline events. In this server, there was a voice channel dedicated to sing-offs. Pretty obvious what the concept is. Sing-offs, you just sing as a competition, people vote. But yeah. And this is honestly how I met some of my friends, like Michael and Ren. Michael was the first friend I really made in this community, so props for them to sticking with my bullshit. But anyways, many people got inspired to make their own servers, and they would even host their own versions of TMS. The only real important one for my personal story was Michael's Ultimate Masked Singer, where I was the Amethyst Geo, and was risen into glory in this community. Just kidding. Well, kinda. People know me because of UMS, so I guess that's fame. Eventually, there was a Discord group DM named The Masked Friends. This is where I made my best friends in this community. It was originally me, Dylan, Michael, the Masked Pokemon, Spell, Maurice, Caden, and Sloth. And some other rotational members like Ren and Cookie Masked. I think the final thing I should mention in this section is that I started a cult. It was all accidentally, mind you, but basically I forcefully adopted people in the community. But, you know what, I think it's time to go to the scandals. Okay, so I'm just gonna say a massive trigger warning because there's mentions of NSFW things and racism and homophobia. Skip to the time shown above to skip this part, it's riddled with all this. But let's get some snacks and start with the scandals. The first one I'm going to mention is the anti-fandom movement. I'm going to give some of these scandals names, but most of them I'll just not do it. But this was the first scandal in the Discord community to my knowledge. Basically, Dylan and Fandom got into an argument and there was a screenshot going around making Fandom seem homophobic. Because in the screenshot, fandom supposedly making a homophobic joke. I say supposedly because looking at it now, it was probably fake due to who took the screenshot. This isn't the last time I mentioned fandom, but the next person I'm gonna talk to made NSFW things about people in this community. Again, if you can't handle stuff like this, I advise you to skip ahead. It won't hurt my feelings. I totally understand, and I'll give you a few seconds. Are the people that wanted to skip ahead skipped ahead? Okay, good. This scandal is going to be called TMS and Gacha Heat. So basically, there's this person who goes by Kunbri, and what they did was make Gacha Heat about some people in the community, some of which included fandom and other people who I don't really remember who was all involved. I think we all know how bad Gacha Heat is in general, and for the Gacha community. I don't feel comfortable going into more detail, so on to the second fandom scandal. Yes, there's two. Now basically this is another NSFW thing. So I know what the hell is wrong with some of the people in this community. So basically this problem involves fandom and one of my best friends, Spell. And this will be called the NSFW incident. You know what? I'm just gonna stop naming the scandals. So the Cliff Notes version of what happened was Spell was talking with fandom for a reason I don't really remember. It's not even any of my business to know that. And for some godforsaken reason, fandom sends a gif of a woman in a promiscuous situation. Mind you, Spell said they didn't want fandom to send it. This caused fandom to become an almost outcast in the community. Now, it's time for the biggest, most atrocious, most hated scandal. You probably know him. You probably hate him. It's Dylan. Most of us probably know what he did, but summarizing some other things he did, basically he said racist things, he was necrophilic, he was way too obsessed with Natasha Bedingfield, and he talked crap about me, Spell, and some other people who asked to remain anonymous. Oh, and did I mention he made like 20 different accounts to raid some Discord servers and be a piece of shit? And want to know what's worse? He admitted to it later, but now he has started denying it. He's lying, perverted, racist piece of shit. And I would recommend unsubscribing from him, blocking from him, and refuse to bring him up in any situation. He doesn't need any publicity because any publicity will benefit him. Now, we've covered the scandals. Let's talk about some of the YouTubers. With a show becoming a community, there were bound to be people who made YouTube channels dedicated to it. There are many great examples of YouTubers like Pokemon Mask, Lucas8663, Mickey Seed, and many more. These creators have videos of either the performances, their rankings of the episodes, and even their own masked singers. That's right, there are the masked YouTubers, or Team Y for sure, that are hosted on YouTube, and they are slowly dying. Yeah, I wish I didn't need to say that, but they're, like, really dying. Just like the show. But there are two other shows I feel like I need to mention. The first one is Fandom Factor. This show isn't concealing your identity. It's more like a big singing competition, which I was on the first season, and got 8 out of 10 contestants. That show wasn't my best moment, but the next show, QSSS, was much better. Not just because of the other contestants being really amazing, but because I actually won. So, obviously there's some bias, but I also just prefer the style of the avatars and the backgrounds much more than Fandom Factor. I would also like to mention that I kind of had my own TMY and TMS shows, but now, let's see the present day version of the community. Dead. It's just dead. Okay, so maybe I'm oversimplifying it, but I'm not wrong. The Discord community has been really dead mainly because of the bigger people have either left the community, despise the community now, or have been in a scandal. Dylan. I'm upset, to be honest, because I've made many friends here, and I've been able to keep up with most of them, but others have cut ties with anyone that was in the community. Some of the smaller creators have now become bigger, and I feel like there might be a revival of the community, but it won't be a big one. Let's talk about some things that didn't really fit into any of these categories or miscellaneous things. There's nothing I can think of for this, so this is just a pad out runtime because yes, this video has been in progress for literally a month, all due to my procrastination and high school. Bleh. It's been fun looking back on the community and how it's grown. I hope y'all can show this video to more people, and maybe blow this video up, and like if you enjoyed as always. But as always, I'm Lux, and I'll see you later, my bitches and bros and my non-binary hoes. I'm out. Bye.